Good morning, everyone. This is again Sir JP, your research guide. Today, I will be orienting you to some functionalities of a Google form on how we obtain data from it. This session would be for beginners to intermediate level of constructing best tools for your research or your evaluation purposes in using Google Forms. Let me share my screen. Okay. From the portal of Google, you try to search Google Forms and then click enter. Once you are prompted to the dashboard of the search engine for Google Forms, you have to click this one, the third one. We have docs.google.com forms and click it. Once you click, you will be redirected to your dashboard, and at the same time this is the common form, or at the same time common dashboard that is reflected upon your account. But in this case, we have already signed in. Ayan, naka-sign in na po ako dito. Okay, let's try to create a new form. In constructing a new form, you have to select or click the blank portion here. Then click it. You will be redirected to this particular setup, questions, responses, settings, but you'll be more focused on the question section. So from the untitled form, you have to click it, and this can be edited. What particular title are you going to place here? So say for instance, you will be placing the title as evaluation of the recently concluded meeting last January 27, 2022. And then in the form description, you can try to at least give the respondents instruction on what to do on this form. So say for instance, we have here, please select one in each item that corresponds to your agreement. You can try to at least instruct them to select a particular response based upon their agreement. So we can place here, please refer to the following legends. Say for instance, the common format for the Likert scale is the 4-3-2-1 method, for which is usually we have here very agree. 3 we have agree. 2 we have disagree, and then 1 as strongly disagree. Ayan. So we have now here the first example. This will be presented to your Google form once you are finished. So the usual format for the Likert scale would be like this one. Untitled question, you have to put a particular section of your evaluation. So say for instance, under the registration, we will be creating here a particular what we so-called as multiple choice grid. Registration, say for instance, we have here index started on time. We have here, there is a responsible committee for registrations. There is an observance of social distancing. Say for instance, this would be your particular index. Yan. So say for instance, we only have three, and what you will place under columns, you will just be putting the 4, 3, 2, 1 here, so that it would look like a multiple choice grid, or at the same time similar to what you can see in the most common Google Forms that are being reflected in the Google evaluation or whatever webinars that you have attended. The usual format is like this one. You have to select multiple choice grid. Once we preview this one, what you will see, or what the respondents will see, would be just like this one. Respondents can select one particular response per index. So say for instance, your instruction here is number 4, very agree, 3, agree, number 2, disagree, 1, strongly disagree. So per index po, we would be having here one particular response per index. So ayan. So they can already submit that. So that is a particular type of a multiple choice grid type. How about this one? The checkbox grid. So the checkbox grid would let you, or would let the respondents try to select more than one response, unlike the multiple choice grid. So let's try a particular example here. So as you can see here, we have selected already for the 2, 4, as well as the 2. We can already try to select everything, or try to select 2 or more. It depends upon the construction that is required of your evaluation tool. So that is how we try to differentiate multiple choice grid as well as the checkbox grid. How about the linear scale? The linear scale is what we so called as another form of a Likert scale. But at the same time, we have here the registration in general, and at the same time, under number 1, we will be inputting here. The linear scale would not be dependent on this one, because the linear scale uses 1 to 5 or 1 to 4. At least you can try 1 to 4. You can already disregard this instruction, because under the linear scale, you can already label the 1 to 4, or 1 as the lowest, or they strongly disagree, and 4 as the very agree. Ayan. So once you try to preview it, we have now here the linear strongly agree if it's number 1, and very agree if it's number 4. So ayan. You will also notice that in this particular tab, you will be clicking required if you try to record before submitting the respondents to select one particular answer here. So click required if you require all of the items to be answered, and click unrequired or off this button, so that you can try to not require them to at least answer this particular tab. So we also have here the what we so-called multiple choice item. Under multiple choice item, uh, we try to have a particular answer in a particular scenario or at the same time in a particular point. This is usually being used in the pre-test and the post-test. If you are trying to uh, create this under Google Form. So say for instance, we will be having here, what did you like most on the meeting? This is somehow subjective. The example is somehow subjective. It depends upon you on how you will construct your question, but this is just an example. So what did you like most on the meeting? Say for instance, number one, foods. Number two, we have here the speaker. Number three, we have here the ambience. Number four, we have here the audience. So under multiple choice, you can only select one particular answer here. But when we speak about the checkboxes, they are now allowed to select more than one answer. So that is how we try to differentiate check boxes and multiple choice. That is somehow similar to multiple choice grid as well as the checkbox grid. Okay na po. So we are already done to multiple choices, check boxes, and we'll now proceed to the drop down. The drop down is just as simple as multiple choice. The only difference is that the drop down would be looking like this one. What did you like most on the meeting? So the respondents would try to select one particular answer here. Yan, isa-isa lang po. So yan, and then they will try to click submit. Again, if you try to require that this must be answered, you have to click required. Ayan po. So another thing, we have here also short answer. You can try this question and they are going to respond a particular short answer here, just like the paragraph. If you want a long answer under this particular tab, you can try to at least select a paragraph so that that can be a longer a response for the respondents to answer. So ayan po, what did you like most on the meeting? If we try to preview it, so they can try to type in or key in longer paragraphs unlike the short paragraphs a while ago. So ayan, we are already done with the paragraph, short response, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid. The file upload would be dependent on your question. If instance you are going to present a picture, then you can try to upload a particular picture, but you will still select a particular type of question that are structured in either short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down, linear scale, multiple choice grid, or checkbox grid. So that is how we construct, or that is how we structure Google Form. And at the same time, after knowing those things, we have to go here. What are these things? First one, if you try to add another part of question, you will be redirected. This is the first one that we did a while ago, and this is the second portion. This adds question. So we have here one particular type or edition, another one because I have clicked this 2 times. So you are you are responsible for inputting here different questions that are synonymous to your title. Another one, we also have here import questions. Import questions works if you try to if you have already existing data or existing Google form that you want to import, or you want to use other questions that are applicable to the present one, the text would be, you'll be adding a particular title or description on a particular question. So say for instance, we have here the title. I have clicked already the double T capital and double capital, but the other one is smaller. So yan. So you will be entitling the, or you will be putting title here and then the description. Another one we have, you can also try to add image. This is somehow similar to this one. File upload. Yan. Sa file upload po, you will not be only focusing on the picture, but you can already place here a particular copy of a particular file, not only focusing on the picture. We also have here, you can try to add videos and at the same time add section. Add section will work on the another sheet that is also connected to the first sheet. Halimbawa, we have here the meeting and the second session would be, or the second section would be evaluation of the speaker. Before submitting, they are required to accomplish both. So that is how we try to use these portions. And aside from that, once you are already done with these things, you will already be sending them the particular or this particular evaluation tool. So say for instance, you have this kind of final presentation. This is just an example. And you have to click send. You have to proceed to the icon that is somehow similar to this one, just like a paper clip. And at the same time, this is too long for them to to copy and paste. You can shorten it by clicking shorten URL, and at the same time, you can already copy this. Once you try to copy this, you can give it or you can send this one to your respondents coming from your Facebook friends, or at the same time, uh, email. You can also email this link. And once they accomplish this particular form, all of their responses will be recorded under here. So in my example, we only have 0 responses because I have not yet sent it to anyone to respond. So these are already the what we so called as the summary of the responses. So yan. By the way, here you can also click the untitled form. Once you try to click it once, you will see that what you placed here will be placed here. Okay po, and you can try to also edit the theme. You can choose image here. Ayan, click OK, insert. Ayan, so we will now be a header picture here. So that would look like a very appealing one. The next one, we have also here the settings. So you can try to make this quiz and you can manage the responses to presentation and then the forms and so on. Another one, we also have here move to folder. Move to folder means that this particular Google form will be moved in a particular folder in your Google Drive. So that is how we try to understand the dashboard that is being presented in this Google form. This is very easy if you try to master this one. So yan, we also have here add collaborators if in case you want other Google users to collaborate with this form. Ayan. So those are the things that must be kept in mind. Another one, if you have already the different responses coming from the different respondents, you can try to click this one, create a spreadsheet, and download it so that uh, you will be having the full tally record of the responses ready for the analysis of data. So that is how we try to summarize and properly organize data in Excel. So once you click this create spreadsheet, you have to you will be redirected to the spreadsheet. You have to click file and download so that the Google Excel or MS Excel will be downloaded, subject now for analysis. So I hope you learned something. This is Sir JP once again, and thank you for listening.